Okay, so we're diving deep today into all this career stuff you sent over.
Yeah, looks like quite the mix.
It is, we've got some pieces from a newsletter you forwarded. Uh, what else? Some descriptions of apprenticeships and even a personal story, someone's career journey.
That's right. A real mix of formats there.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack. So we'll try to help you sift through it all and, pull out what's really going to help you on your own career path.
Exactly. And what I think is so interesting is that the material you sent, it's not just like, here's a list of jobs, go get one.
Right.
It's like, it's thinking more holistically about like, how do you actually build a successful career, not just like, what job do you have?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it kind of touches on the support systems, the learning environment, things that really make a difference in your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I wish I had thought about that stuff more when I was starting out.
Yeah,
It's not something that, is always top of mind.
right.
So we'll definitely dig into all of that. But first, let's talk about this apprenticeship thing.
Okay.
The newsletter you sent mentions this Tesco Stronger Starts retail apprenticeship.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds really interesting. I mean, they talk about, developing your skills and building confidence and just like learning all about the world of retail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on apprenticeships as like an alternative to the traditional university route?
Well, it really depends on what works best for you, how you like to learn, what your goals are.
Yeah.
Apprenticeships, they offer you that hands-on experience you're learning by doing right. You're actually, out there in the field, and often there's a job waiting for you at the end of it.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like a super immersive internship that lasts for like a year or more.
That makes sense.
But the trade-off is you're getting specialized knowledge in one specific area.
All right.
Maybe not that broader academic foundation you'd get from a university. So it's
Yeah.
about figuring out what kind of environment you thrive in and what kind of knowledge you actually need to be successful.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of thriving, both Tesco and that London Interdisciplinary School you mentioned, they both really emphasize creating a supportive environment.
That's right.
LIS actually says that students can shape what well-being looks like at LIS.
Mm-hmm.
And Tesco is all about making sure their employees, feel comfortable being themselves.
Yeah.
So this focus on well-being that really jumped out at me, is this like a new thing in career development, or have I just been out of the loop?
I think people are starting to realize that job satisfaction and success aren't just about the tasks you do. It's
Right.
also about the environment you're in.
Yeah.
Inclusivity, mental health support, just a general sense of belonging. All of that can be just as important as like your salary or job title.
Totally.
I mean, if you're constantly stressed or feel like you can't be yourself, it's going to affect your work no matter how interesting the work is.
It's like the difference between trying to run a marathon in flip-flops
Yeah.
versus having like a good pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
It can make or break your experience okay now for something completely different. This story of Gisela Anthony on the Ofcom blog blew me away.
Oh, yeah.
This woman is incredible. She's got a senior role despite experiencing hearing loss.
Wow.
And on top of that, she's a PhD student.
That's impressive.
I mean, seriously, how does she do it all?
Well, what's so fascinating about Gisela's story is her adaptability.
Yeah.
It's like she's not letting any challenge hold her back. She's using technology to overcome communication barriers. She's fully engaged in her work, and she's embracing lifelong learning.
It's amazing.
And, her story really connects with what we were talking about earlier about evolving and expanding your skill set.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like she's living proof that you don't have to settle into one specific path and just stay there forever.
Right.
She's combining a demanding career with, continuing her education, which is so inspiring.
Yeah.
We should think about, what could lifelong learning look like in your own life?
Absolutely. And it actually brings us back to that call to action in the newsletter you sent.
Oh, yeah.
If you feel ready to speak about your future and have any questions or need support to plan your next steps, please.
I remember that.
It's a good reminder that all of these resources, the links to explore apprenticeships, the information on student finance, it's all there to help you take that next step.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So we've talked about these different career paths, the importance of a supportive environment, and we've got this real-world example of someone who's thriving despite challenges. What do you think is like the biggest takeaway from all of this?
For me, it's realizing that career exploration, it's not just a one-time thing.
Right.
It's this ongoing process of learning, adapting, reevaluating your goals and priorities as you go.
Mhm.
Just like Gisela Anthony, you have the power to shape your own path. And this deep dive, it's giving you the tools and insights to actually start that journey.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
It's not about finding the perfect career right away, but about being open to new opportunities and being willing to adapt along the way.
Yeah.
So here's something to think about as you keep exploring all this. Guzilla found success by kind of like defying expectations, combining work and ongoing education.
Yeah.
What would it look like for you to embrace that same spirit of lifelong learning? And how can you start building that into your own career journey?
Good question.
Keep exploring those resources, do your research, and remember, this is just the beginning.
It is.
There's a whole world of possibilities out there.
That's